welcome. I'm Courtney Elms. I'm the Senior Director of Undergraduate Programs at the Merage School. And I know I met some of you during our orientation sessions this summer, and I hope that I get the opportunity to meet the rest of you during your time here at UCI. So on behalf of the entire Merage School, I'm excited to be the first to say welcome to UCI officially on day one of the quarter. So I oversee the business undergraduate program office. So essentially the academic advising and advisors and peer advisors who are here to help you navigate the academic side of things during your time at UCI. But we're also here to serve as resources. So if you need other things from UCI, you can use us as a resource and we can direct you where it's appropriate. So this morning, you'll be hearing from the Business School Dean and our Associate Dean. You'll hear a bit more from the Undergraduate Program Office and the Merage School Career Center. And we'll end with a panel of business school professors, of some of your instructors, and also with a panel of some of your peers, some current students. And so you'll be able to submit questions through the Q&A box. And so we encourage you to do so if you have questions for instructors or for current students. And so to kick things off, I'd like to introduce the Dean of the Merage School, Dean Eric Spangenberg, to say a few words.
Hello, everyone. I'm just here to also welcome you. I guess I'm the second to officially welcome you after Courtney. I've been the Dean of the Merage School for over 6 years now, and I can say that we are as proud of this class as we've been of any other admissions class that we brought in. To be accepted into the Merage School, you are an exceptional student, and we're confident that you will realize even greater potential as you study with us. We just bring in the best and the brightest into the Merage School. It's very competitive, and so congratulations on being admitted. Congratulations on starting. Then also, I would say I will be also completely acknowledge that this isn't the start of your UCI experience that you had imagined when you started to apply, and none of us imagined this, believe me, but all of us are adapting, and you as well as the faculty, the staff, and everyone involved. And I am confident that the Merage School has adapted more effectively and efficiently than most schools around the nation, actually around the world. We're really better able to pivot to remote, given our online and hybridization experience that we've developed over the last several years. We were ahead of the curve, and you'll hear from some of the pioneers in these efforts later this morning in our panel, and our staff and our faculty have been working in this environment for much longer than we've been realizing this sort of pandemic environment. And we were at it several years ago, and I couldn't be more proud of the school's faculty and staff and how we've pivoted and adjusted to the conditions within which we find ourselves. And so I would also say I'm very proud of the students that we have and how they have pivoted. And so I'm confident that you will be able to get started, and that this isn't the way we'll have to do things for the next 4 years while you're here. But we'll all probably remember that this is the way we started this fall for you, and I think that'll be something that we'll look back on and hopefully look back and understand how we've grown and how we've adapted and how that will help us to grow and adapt to other challenges that you'll face in your lives. The Merage School mission is really built around building leaders, developing leaders in a digitally driven world, and we are living that mission every day, and we're forced to live that mission in an even greater degree in the conditions we find ourselves in. So I'll say let's just get the right attitude and get on with business. I mean, the other thing that I would say is that the Merage School really ultimately, I think if you haven't found it already with some of the startup activities, it is a community, and we are here to help and support one another. And when I say one another, that's faculty, staff, and students really come first. We're in this together, and we need to communicate both directions. So I want to encourage you to feel free to connect with the Merage School, connect with us, and let us know what your experience is, and let us know what your needs are. Because I would say, if we don't hear from you, we don't know how to enrich your experience. And it's also nice to hear what's working, because what's working for you may not be something that's been operationalized in another context, and we can take what we learn there and we can help make other students' experiences more rich and more fulfilling. So I don't want to take up too much time today, but I did want to make sure that this was a priority to welcome you. This is the sixth class that I've welcomed. I'm very excited about you joining us. I'm going to turn you back over to our great faculty, great staff, student leadership. We have so many people on board to make this work for you. And so let's make this an experience that we learn from inside as well as outside of the classroom. And when I say inside the classroom, you know what I'm referring to right now. And so this is going to be an interesting time for you. But like I say, let's learn and we can carry these lessons forward in life. So with that, I'll go ahead and turn you back over to Courtney and tell you that have a great day, have a great fall quarter. And with the right attitude, any day and any quarter can be great. So thanks a lot. Thanks for choosing the Merage School.
Thank you, Dean Spangenberg. I'd now like to turn things over to the Associate Dean of Undergraduate Programs at the Merage School, Associate Dean Maya Young.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the Paul Merage School of Business. I'm Maya Young, Associate Dean of Undergraduate Programs. That means I'm looking out for your experience here. I oversee the curricular academic part as well as connect you to career services, alumni, mentors, and events on campus. My goal is to be a voice for you and things you care about as you start your great adventure at UCI. We're so proud to have you here. We know that these are unprecedented times and tough times. You've worked so hard to get here, and it's been a tough 2020 for many. That's not lost on me. But in this unprecedented slice of history, we feel really proud of what we're building. And as the dean mentioned, the Merage School was uniquely positioned to respond to remote course delivery based on having invested in a team of digital learning experts in-house. And we're so proud of how we've come together as a teaching and research community. And we hope you experience all the hard work that we've put into delivering our classes online and remotely. This teaching and research community is here for you. As the dean said, I just want to reiterate that we are here to support you as you start on your journey and throughout your time at UCI. Please do reach out to faculty, please reach out to staff for assistance and your peer advisors. Even if you don't know exactly what it is that you need, we will help you find the right resources. So we are all learning and we're all growing in how we deliver a world-class education remotely this quarter. And we're so excited to have you here as you start your journey as a Paul Merage School Anteater. I'll turn it over to other members of our team, and thanks again, welcome.
Thank you so much, Dr. Young. While echoing what everyone else has said thus far, I would like to personally welcome you to UCI and Merage. I know that this fall quarter is a new experience for all of us, but we really want to let you know that we're here to guide you through the next few years at UCI. We in the Undergraduate Programs Office and the Merage School are here to help you with not only academic advising questions, but questions about getting involved, finding the right resources on campus, connecting with our alumni, or just a chat. You should have had a chance to meet our team over summer, as Courtney mentioned, but just to reiterate, who are the members of our team. So we have Courtney, our Senior Director, Sarah Link, our Associate Director, Michael Cruz, our Assistant Director, Nicolo Patungan, our Student Affairs Officer, and myself, Andrea O'Donnell, one of the Associate Directors. We're also fortunate to have 5 amazing peer academic advisors who are here to assist you through your time at Merage, and you'll be meeting one of them later this morning. There are several ways to get a hold of us through advising. You have the opportunity to meet with one of our peer academic advisors over Zot Chat, which is a live chat feature, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 12 and 1 to 4. Our peers are also going to be hosting several workshops this quarter. They'll talk a little bit more about that later. you can make an appointment with one of our advisors via Zoom, and we can help you with long-term planning, double majors, minors, or any questions that you may have. If you have a quick question, you can always email us via ugprograms@uci.edu, or you can call the front desk and leave a voice message, and then we usually get back to you within 24 hours. Some other ways that we communicate important information from our office, we do so via our weekly newsletter, so make sure that you're checking your email for that. We post in that upcoming events, workshops, and important announcements. And we also post important information on our website and through My Merage. So if you haven't had a chance yet, make sure to check out My Merage. Once again, I want to welcome you to Merage, and I really hope that you have a wonderful fall quarter. And now I'm going to hand it over to one of my colleagues, Blair, to tell you a little bit more about our unique career services here at Merage.
Like everyone else, I just want to welcome you here to a year that is really unlike any other. I just want to echo what Dean Spangenberg said, which is it's a really big deal to be here. We're so excited to have you, and the school thinks it's a big deal too. And that's why they've actually dedicated a career services team specifically to help you all with your career journey. You're the only undergrad program that has a dedicated career advising team. There's 3 of us that make up the undergraduate BA advising team. It's myself, my colleagues, Sarah Yu and Vanessa Marson, and you can meet with all of us to schedule appointments to talk about every step of your career journey. In addition to that, we also have a Merage peer career advising team. This is made up of students that are upperclassmen that are further along in their career journey. They've had great work experience, and they're available for you to meet with. They host a lot of our workshops and stuff like that. And it's really great just to have the opportunity to pick their brain about what it looks like trying to navigate this whole world of employment. They've got great suggestions from everything from classes to take to how to stand out in a job application and what some of their work experiences are like. So I hope that you will take advantage of that. So as I mentioned, our goal is to help you with this whole career journey. And I realize that you're starting your academic portion of Merage today, but you actually are also, in addition, taking kind of that first step down your professional career path. And so I just want to talk a little bit about our services. We offer, you know, when people think of career services, they tend to think of resume reviews and cover letter reviews, you know, maybe prepping for interviews, you know, helping develop a LinkedIn account. And we do all of that. But in addition to that, we also are here to help you with the whole career exploration process. So anyone that you would ask, your parents, employers, they're going to tell you business is a fantastic degree, and it really is. But it's also very broad. And so we're here to help you understand what it is that you want to do with that business degree, because a career in accounting is going to look really different than a career in marketing, and is going to look really different than a career in operations. So feel free to schedule an appointment, come in and talk to us, pick our brain, and let us help you navigate that path. I also want to talk to you about how we're going to communicate with you. So I believe all of you at this point have logged on or had access to the Bridge Career Management System. This is going to be your best friend while you're here at Merage. You can sign up for those advising appointments with our advising team. You can upload a resume for a virtual resume review. We also have a lot of exciting workshops and exclusive employer events, and this is where you'll register for those. So check out the Bridge. We also have a job board on there for employers that are very specifically seeking and wanting to hire Merage. We also send out a weekly Merage Career Services newsletter. This is a go-to one-stop place that you can check for all the exciting things that we have going on campus. We're going to feature jobs. We're going to talk about upcoming events, scholarship opportunities. So you've already been added to the list, but please open that up and kind of see if there's anything in there for you. In addition to that, we have a private LinkedIn group that we'd love you to join, grow your network, find out about what we have going on. You can also follow us on Instagram. So just a number of different ways to engage. The other thing that we're going to start offering probably in around week 2 is we will have drop-in advising hours over Zoom with our Merage peer career advisors, and we'll have them in kind of the late afternoon, early evening hours so that you can meet with them, pick their brain about any questions that you might have. And the last thing that I just wanted to share with you is that, once again, you truly are lucky. Not only do you have access to our services, but you also will have access to the Division of Career Pathways, which is just a fancy name for our main campus career center. They also have a job board looking to hire UCI students. It's called Handshake. And the other thing is things are going to start happening fast and furious. So already on Wednesday, the first fall career fair is happening virtually. You're going to go and sign up on Handshake for that. And regardless of where you are on your career journey, I would really encourage you to go check it out. See some of the employers that hire here off of campus, just get some exposure to it. So it's a great opportunity. Thank you so much. Thrilled that you guys are here. Can't wait to engage and work with you.
Thanks so much, Blair. So everyone, we're going to start with our instructor panel, our faculty panel now, with 3 of our amazing business school instructors, and you'll see them pop their videos on in just a second here. And so if you have questions of them, please use the Q&A function. You should see it at the bottom of your screen. That's the best way for us to monitor and be able to ask questions of the panelists. So with me today, I have Professor Thomas Eppel, Professor Max Chow, and Professor Grace McLaughlin. And so to start off, would each of you, perhaps in that order, would each of you just introduce yourself and your area? And since we have both new freshmen and new transfers on this, perhaps share what courses you might teach to both of those groups.
So my name is Thomas Eppel. I've been at Merage for about 20 years now. And in the undergraduate program, I also teach in the MBA and executive MBA programs. In the undergraduate program, I teach Management 1, which is the Intro to Business, Management 7, which is Business Statistics, Management 101, which is Management Science. And I've also led 2 residentials to Europe.
Hi, everyone. I'm Max Chow. I'm entering my 19th year here at the Merage School. I teach in the accounting, tax, and business law areas. So I teach Management 30A, the online version of the financial accounting class. I teach Management 132A, which is individual taxation, Management 133, which is corporate and partnership taxation, and Management 192, which is business law.
Okay, and now it's my turn. I'm Grace McLaughlin, and I work in the O&M area. I've been here for over 20 years, my 21st year now, and I teach strictly undergrads. I love you guys. So I teach Intro to Business alongside Thomas. We both teach that class. And then I teach upper division classes in teamwork, in HR management, what else do I teach? Leadership, and managing organizational change and innovation. So I'm sure I'll see a few of you in my classes.
Yes, for sure. Well, thank you guys so much. So obviously this is a different way for these students to be starting their time at UCI. And so could you guys share some best practices on how to communicate with their instructors, both while we're remote, but then even if there's anything different that they might do once we do get back to in person? And Grace, do you want to start?
Okay, the first thing I'd love to say is talk to your professors. Do that. In 4 years, if you're a new student, you're going to be coming to us and saying, I'd like a letter of recommendation for grad school or for a job or something. And I took Management 1 4 years ago. Management 1, 300 students. I'm going to go, sorry, I have no idea who you were. So over the next 4 years, make sure you talk to your instructors. Go to office hours, send them emails, do things like that. Make sure you develop relationships with your instructors. It's a good idea to put a face to your name. It helps. Okay. Anybody else?
What I would add on to what Grace just said is communication is absolutely important, but do it on a timely basis as well. You know, often some students will come to me in week 9 of a quarter and say, I wasn't able to get this assignment done because I had a health issue or my family had an issue or there was a big car accident. By week 9 or 10, it's really hard for us to do anything to help you at that point. So don't be scared of us. We're all really friendly people. We love talking to our students. So make sure you communicate on a timely basis so we can help solve your problems when they are solvable.
Well, let me just add a few things, a few thoughts. First of all, let me mention to you that I was born and raised and went to school in Germany. And the main reason I mention that is that I envy you, because student life and maybe the undergraduate experience in particular is very different in Europe. So I envy you in the sense that you should not just spend the next 4 years getting good grades, talking to us professors, but also develop yourself as a person and grow and mature and find your passion. That's what it's really all about to me, because I happen to be in a very fortunate position where I get paid for what I love doing anyway. And if you manage to find that by talking to us elderly people, maybe a little wise people, that would be a great way to go about that.
I wouldn't refer to you guys as elderly, but that's okay if you want to put yourself in that bucket, Thomas. Some of you guys mentioned office hours, and that is sort of a new terminology for many of our students. So do you mind just sort of explaining what that is and what could a student expect if they were to go to office hours? I know when I was in undergrad, it was a little intimidating. Like I thought I had to have this really big problem to go to office hours. And now that I'm here, I know that that's not the case. So I'm not sure who wants to take that one, but if someone can talk about office hours.
I'll start. Office hours are really important. You can come to my office hours to talk to me about anything. It doesn't even have to be school related. I have a lot of students come in to say, you know, I don't know what direction I want to go in my life. Or they come in just to say hi and have lunch. They can come in, talk to us. We're interesting people with a lot of unique experiences in our backgrounds, how we became professors, how you choose your direction, anything like that. This quarter and next quarter, and maybe spring, my office hours are going to be on Zoom. And I usually just send out an email and say, hey, I'm on Zoom for the next 3 hours. Drop by if you want to. You don't have to have a problem.
I would add to that as well that office hours also gives us a chance to meet you as the students. We do have so many students in our classes, and it's hard for us to remember who you are. But if you come into our office hours, we get to see you, we get to talk to you, and as Grace said, you get to learn about us, we get to learn about you, and we get to help you with any course materials or things you don't understand. I often have students, you know, when our offices were open, who would just pop by, that they were walking by the hall and say, hey, Professor Chow, how are you today? And oftentimes they'll come in and we'll chat for a little bit. So I would encourage you, we're not scary people. Come on in, talk to us. If we have virtual Zoom hours, show up and just say hi or chat with us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, let me just add to that, you know, and going back to what Grace said earlier about writing a letter of recommendation, believe it or not, I will not remember you because you got an A in my class, but I might remember you when you tell me that you went to a U2 concert or something like that. So, you know, be personal. Because that helps us remember. And again, we're people, you know, we're here to join you on that journey, which just happened to be in a somewhat different role. And in my case, most of my classes were actually were designed to be online. Yes, you know, office hours through Zoom are different than sitting in the same room, but please take advantage of all the opportunities that we created for you.
Thank you. And so you guys did all start to touch on this a little bit, but the question around how do you build relationships with with faculty, because it can be intimidating. And, you know, in a face-to-face format, you might have people who sort of hang around a little bit after class and chat with you for a few minutes after class. But what are your recommendations for this fall and even winter as we look for remote learning?
My main advice would be to be yourself and to not be shy. Maybe I shouldn't share that, but as an undergrad, I was very shy. I was afraid to speak in front of people, and maybe the anonymity, if that's a word, of the internet helps people to connect. That's actually a good thing. You may feel freer to, you know, email a professor rather than going to him or her personally. But again, be yourself and take advantage of us in a good way.
I would echo what Thomas says as well. You're here at the University of California. This will probably be one of the last times in your life where you get to do whatever you want. And there's very few things you can do here where it's going to get you into a lot of trouble. And so enjoy that freedom, enjoy the exploration here, make relationships with people, you know, meet your professors, meet your classmates, and explore everything that UCI, the Merage School, has to offer for you here.
Yeah, Courtney mentioned that students used to hang around after class, you know, to talk to us. They still do on Zoom. When class is over, I frequently have several students who are refusing to leave the Zoom session. They're there, they're checking in, they're saying that was fun, or that word, I didn't understand this. So stay after class, talk to us. Also, watch your email and your announcements. Make sure that you respond if we send you messages. And as Max said, have fun. Thomas said, have fun. Follow your passion. All of these things are super important.
I would add one thing to what Grace just said about watching your emails. Email is a good correspondence method. For us, we use announcements on Canvas, or we use email a lot. I'm a pretty laid back kind of guy, and I'm not that formal. But if you're sending an email out to us, please proofread it. Typos, grammatical errors, addressing it to the wrong professor doesn't look very good for you. And I don't know about Grace or Thomas, but I don't speak text or Reddit very well. So in emails, you need to kind of be slightly more formal in what you need or what you're asking for. You know, it's just a matter of a little more formality. That's all. It's not a text message.
I delete anything that comes in just a text. I don't even bother reading it because I can't.
So we have a couple questions coming through in the Q&A. And so there are some questions around, you know, timing of when classes show up in Canvas. I know that everyone's getting a little anxious, right? We're at the start, quarters officially started, but classes don't start until Thursday. So, you know, when do you think students can expect to see their classes in Canvas? A lot of them are nervous around when to buy their books and how to know what books to get, and so are waiting on the syllabus. So any sort of thoughts to calm some nerves as we start week 0?
Well, that's probably different from professor to professor. Speaking for myself, I teach Management 7 this fall quarter, and I published my website last week, I think already. So I think all of us will probably publish sometime this week.
Yeah, I'm teaching 3 classes this quarter: Management 1, 124, which is HR, and 190, Managing Org Change. All those websites have been up for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm teaching Management 192 Business Law, which was developed as an online class, and I have 2 sections of 132A, which is Individual Tax. My syllabus and my Canvas websites have been up for a couple weeks as well. I actually even released a scavenger hunt, a virtual one for my students about UCI a week ago that we offered bonus points for. So it, as Thomas says, it varies from professor to professor, but most will have them up by this point as well. And once you see that, it'll always tell you about your textbooks, which course materials are required, which are optional. Always look into the e-textbooks if you all can. That'll save you a lot of money, and it has great deals of flexibility now with e-textbooks, and you can read your stuff anytime you want.
One other thing, make sure to look at whatever assignments are due, because, for example, Management 1 is the only class where I go over the syllabus on the first day and go over what you can expect. All my other classes are upper division. I assume you know what you're doing and that you've read the syllabus. But if I'm teaching a 3-hour class, which my upper division classes are, there's always something due on the first day before the first class. In one of my classes, you'll have to write a paper before the first day. Almost all of my classes, you have a quiz due before class on the first day. So make sure you look at your schedule of assignments of what you're supposed to be doing. There is no excuse in college for turning things in late. You know when things are due.
One of the other things that, that sort of reminded me about was, timelines. And then how do you suggest students approach you if they do have things come up this quarter? It's obviously, there has been a lot of change going on in the world since we all went to a remote format with the pandemic. And so how would you suggest students approach you if they do have any challenges that come across them this quarter?
Don't wait.
Mm-hmm.
Do not wait. What was Max earlier said, don't come to me in week 9 with a assignment you missed in week 1. If there's a problem, tell us right away. We can usually help you fix it if we know right then. Later, it's going to be too late.
Be honest about it. Don't embellish and try to make it look worse than what it is. We've all been here for a very long time, and we have heard all the excuses that students give. But if you're genuine and you're honest and forthright about it, the vast majority of us, I would say almost every single one of us, has empathy and compassion and will work with you to help solve that problem.
Yeah, I can only echo what has already been said. Be honest. What I said earlier, we're all in this together, in my opinion. And these are unprecedented times. And I think patience and respect going both ways are things that you should keep in mind.
And I think maybe we'll do 1 or 2 more questions here. Do you guys have any suggestions on how, or maybe you can share, how do you encourage student-to-student interaction in your classes in this remote format? So how are you helping students connect to each other and build relationships with each other, even though we are remote?
Well, every single one of my classes always requires group work. And so you'll be put into groups, so you'll at least meet 4 or 5 other students in each class. But we have a lot of great campus organizations, especially like here at the Merage School. So I'm the faculty advisor for Accounting Association and Beta Alpha Psi, which is the accounting honors fraternity, and students consulting for nonprofit organizations. Join an organization. Find an organization that you have an interest in and go to one of their meetings. They're all virtual at this point, and you get to meet other people with similarly like-minded interests. And that's a great way to meet people as well, too.
Yeah, I think we, to some extent, facilitate, again, in my class, with discussion forum, interaction among students. In the Management 1 class, every week, groups of students need to discuss a current topic in the business world. And again, just like Max said, I'm a brother in the Delta Sigma Pi fraternity. So we are involved with students in there. And that's why I said earlier, I envy you to some extent, because these are things that I did not experience as an undergrad. And please take full advantage of each other, again, in a good way.
I agree with all of them. Another thing that I would suggest in my classes while we're virtual, I'm using the chat function for students to contribute to the class. If you see somebody in the chat function who said something interesting, respond to them. Say, hey, I thought your point was valid. Let's talk about it later. You can meet people even in the chat function, or if they're speaking up during class verbally as well. So take any opportunity.
In every single one of my classes, I have a Canvas discussion forum for week 0 where it says, who are you? and I make everyone introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about you and something unique about yourselves. And we try to respond to every post. And students often respond to each other's posts because you read them and you find out something interesting about someone who shares a similar interest that you might have as well. So there's lots of opportunities for you to be able to meet people and your fellow students here. Just, you got to take advantage of them.
That's a great idea, Max. Can I steal that from you?
Absolutely, Grace.
Okay, good.
All right, well, thank you guys so much. You guys have actually, the last part of the conversation around getting involved in organizations is a really nice transition to our next panel, which is with some students and some student leaders in the Merage School. And so just to allay any concerns that students still have about their Canvas and their course material, if by end of day tomorrow, beginning of Wednesday, you still don't see something for a class that's on Thursday, please email your instructor. You can also email the undergraduate programs office if you are having any problems, and we'll make sure that you can get everything that you need, because that is where you'll find, you'll get the information on how to join class and the Zoom links and everything. So give it a couple more days. Any classes that start on Monday, Tuesday, that you have on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, you don't have until next week. So there is still a little bit of time. But I just want to say a huge thank you to our instructors for joining us on their panel. And I'm going to turn it over to Andrea, who's going to lead the panel with our students.
Thank you so much, Courtney, and thank you so much for our faculty for joining us. That was awesome. I mean, I even learned a lot. So now I would like to welcome our student panel. So hopefully Ryan, Edward, and Elaine, we can get them on video with me. So we have our student panel here. So what I'd love for you to do is to go around, and I'll start with, so Elaine, Edward, and Ryan. So kind of in that order. If you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell me your year and maybe about your current role, what you do.
Awesome. So hi everyone, my name is Elaine. I am a fourth year double majoring in business administration and psychological sciences with a minor in Asian American studies. So my current role is I am one of the Merage School of Business peer academic advisors. So what I do is that I am in charge of the academic side. So I help you, whether you want to change your major or add another major or explore minors, help you choose classes when it comes towards enrollment time, which is like around the end of fall quarter. And along with that, I make sure that your records are secured and that you can graduate within 4 years at UCI as a business admin major.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Edward. I'm also a fourth year business administration major, emphasizing in organization management as well as finance. So I'm currently the interim president for MUSA, which is the student government body for undergraduate Merage students. I'm also involved in the business community as a member of Delta Sigma Pi that Professor Eppel was talking about. I'm really involved in that business fraternity here at UCI. I'm also campus tour guide. So if you have any questions about how we became the UCI how we got the anteater as our UCI mascot, happy to answer any questions about that. So we're really excited. A little bit more about MUSA. So MUSA is kind of the facilitator for Merage students to get involved. So I saw a lot of great questions in the chat on how can I meet other students and how can I get involved. So that's really our goal, to connect you with all the resources here in Merage and also connect you with each other. So we do different networking events where you can meet students outside the classroom. We do faculty luncheons where we try to connect you with professors as well. And then we try to connect you with alumni through kind of like our alumni events. So we actually have 2 events coming up this week. So on Wednesday, we have the business fraternity panel. On Friday, we have a networking event with the 3 business fraternities. And then next week, we have a week filled of events. So Merage Spirit Week is something that we do in person, but obviously this year it'll be virtual. So different Zoom events where you can meet alumni, you can meet each other, and you can meet different student panels, kind of talk more about our student experiences. But the best way for you to kind of get updated all these events is to follow us on social media. So we have a Facebook page, facebook.com/musa.uci, or on our Instagram, which is @musa.uci. So hope to connect and hope to chat more about the student experience here at Merage.
Hey everyone, my name is Ryan. I'm a rising senior at the UCI Merage School of Business. ... Very proud and really happy to be here, and you all should be really proud as well. So some of my current involvements, I'm representing the Merage Peer Career Office, or the BA Career Service Office, or the Merage Peer Career Advisor and MPCA. As Blair kind of mentioned before, we kind of help you with resume reviews, cover letter tips, anything to really help you in your career search. And I'm also representing MUSA as well. Edward kind of talked about it, but I'm the executive vice president of that organization. So again, really happy to be here, and you all should be as well.
Well, thank you guys so much. And Edward, I really love how you can already see in the Q&A, you know, we've been getting a lot of questions from students on how they can get involved, how they can meet other students. And that's really our focus right now as we're living in this virtual world of creating that community within Merage and UCI. So thank you for touching on that. But I was wondering if you can go a little bit more into detail. Maybe each of you can talk about some upcoming events this quarter or workshops that you guys or your groups have been working on that students can really participate in. So maybe we can start with Elaine.
Yes. All right, so within the peer academic office, we have a lot of workshops. Actually, every week within the fall quarter, we have a workshop hosted on Zoom. The one that is coming up next is this Wednesday at 2 p.m. It's a meet and greet, so it's a way for you to really get to know who we are within the office, as you will be coming into our office when you have any questions in regards to classes and planning your schedule. So it's great to get a head start to get to know who we are. We have 5 peers, as Andrea mentioned at the beginning of this conference, and we're all up for division students. So essentially, you get a chance to really pick our brains on our experiences, different professors that we are taking. We are all emphasizing in all different things. For example, I'm emphasizing in organization and management. So if you ever had any questions in regards to that field, you can specifically come to me and ask for those questions. And along with that, all my other peers are very diverse in their knowledge in regards to the business admin field. So just to advertise, make sure if you are available at 2 p.m. on Wednesday to come out for our meet and greet. We have an icebreaker. It's a great way to meet all of your peers and your classmates before class actually starts on Thursday.
Yeah, so I can go next. So I kind of mentioned some events that we're having this week, kind of to talk to them in more detail. So this Wednesday, we have our business fraternity panel from 7:30 to 8, so from 7 to 8:30, and you kind of get to meet our 3 business fraternities here. I think a lot of people are kind of confused what our business fraternities, so you get to kind of learn more about what that is. They're not associated with Greek life. It's professional oriented. They're co-ed, and they're a really great resource, I think, for our Merage students. But I think 2 events I would highlight taking place during week 1, so next week, are our business organizations and club fair. And that's going to be Tuesday from 1 to 2:30, and again from 5 to 6:30. So we're going to be using a virtual platform where you can check out the different virtual booths of all of our different MUSA affiliated clubs. So I think the professors mentioned some, but we have a wide range. So we have industry specific ones like Undergraduate Finance Association. We have more like interest oriented ones like Student Consulting for Nonprofits, Accounting Association, the business fraternities, Women in Leadership, a lot of these different organizations that will kind of be able to talk to you live through a virtual fair format. And then we have on Friday of that week, we have events in between, but just want to highlight another one, which is on Friday, the MUSA speed networking one. So it'll be kind of like an event like this, but we'll break you out into smaller Zoom rooms so you can meet other incoming first years and transfers. One thing to keep in mind, I think, for first years is we have a program called MUSA Representatives, where you can apply for a position within our MUSA Reps program, where you will be working with approximately like 20 other Merage first years to work with MUSA to kind of advertise some of our student government events. It's kind of like a junior student government position within MUSA, and also plan your own events and join like a team with other MUSA reps and have a mentor in the MUSA Associates program. So that's for first years. And then for transfers, like we also have different transfer specific events during next week's Merage Spirit Week.
Great. And I'll kind of cover the BA Career Services portion of this just because Edward, you went over a lot of MUSA. Similar to Elaine, the BA Career Services Office has 6 Merage peer career advisors, so we're all here to help you. We host a lot of different info sessions. So we had a virtual interview workshop last year, we had a branding workshop last year, and we will have various workshops throughout the quarter. As Blair kind of mentioned before, we also have a resource called The Bridge, which is really, really important. We have a lot of different job postings there, and opportunities to also sign in for virtual career drop-ins. So that's kind of the events we host, and it's very career oriented. So definitely check out The Bridge and definitely check out those resources.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. That's a lot of amazing events this quarter. So I had couple questions from students on business frats. So Edward, maybe you can speak a little bit on that. They said that they wanted to know a little bit more about the recordings and where they're going to be meeting. Can you just speak briefly on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So regarding the business frat panel, it's going to be a webinar this Wednesday from 7 to 8:30, and you can just join it like this, like a webinar, and have it playing in the background. You don't need to like have cameras on or anything like that. We really wanted to make this event kind of like, I don't know anything about business fraternities, let me just check it out. But no worries if you can't make it, because we also have an event on Friday where you can kind of learn more about business frats. And along the process, we will also be posting about information via our Facebook and Instagram. So having like information sourced from the business fraternity about their recruitment schedule and some information about them. So you can kind of access it that way. And this isn't the official kickoff. It's not like the recruitment events for the business fraternities. They will have a series of recruitment events themselves, but this is kind of like the first touch point for you to check out all three at the time. So, no worries if you can't make it this week. They're going to have events next week as well. But also you can, follow us on Facebook and Instagram, which I would highly encourage, because we're posting constantly about information.
Thanks, Edward. And this one's going to be more for Elaine. So a student asked, how challenging is it to pursue multiple majors?
Yes, so as I introduced myself earlier, I am a double major. To be honest, as a business admin major, you have a lot of flexibility when it comes to whether you want to pursue a double major or a minor or both. Within the business admin, you only have a certain amount of classes, and typically students can actually finish within 3 years if you plan accordingly. And so research has shown that when you explore outside of the business admin, whether you add along a psychology major or add along computer sciences or any area of your interest, it really does help you advance as a business leader once you graduate UC Irvine as a business admin. So I do highly encourage, if you do know that you have other areas of interest that you want to explore, start exploring your first and second year, because there is definitely a lot of time when it comes to adding another major onto your degree. So make sure that as a business admin, you have to graduate within 4 years. There's no such thing as a super senior. You cannot stay 5 years. So if you are curious about the process, make sure that you pop by our virtual office hours and ask us, because you do need to submit a 4-year plan to ensure that you can graduate in 4 years, whether you pursue a double major or a double major with a minor, or just business admin with a minor.
Thanks so much, Elaine. I know that's crazy. Double major and a minor. It just shows that you can do it, and she's involved as a peer academic advisor. So there are so many opportunities and ways to get involved here on campus and even within Merage, and there is time to do it. It's just about asking questions, talking to us if you don't know where to go, beginning with, the peers or any of your academic advisors or even faculty. It's all about being interested and asking those questions, and we are happy to point you in the directions, because there's an opportunity for everyone. Thank you, guys. And we have transfer students as well as incoming freshmen. From a transfer perspective, do you know how challenging it is to kind of shift from a semester to a quarter? Because that's a big deal, going from 16 weeks to 10. Can any of you briefly touch on that?
Yeah, I can mention something. I just have heard a lot of students talking about how quarters is really fast. Like with a 10-week of academic curriculum, your midterm could be like as early as week 3 for some classes, maybe week 5, 6, or 7. It really just depends on the course. I have heard some transfers recommend taking 12 units instead of 16 for the first one, just to adjust, because your first quarter, you also kind of want to check out like business clubs and organizations and talk more with your professors and get settled in. That's what I would personally recommend, just so you are kind of comfortable with that schedule, the quarter schedule and workload, and really so you can maximize all your opportunities here at Merage.
Yeah, I can definitely echo Edward. When it came to SPOT, we did recommend all of our students to register for 12 units, and if you feel up for it, definitely 16. But 12 units really give you that that time to kind of explore, because a lot of clubs are offering you like to join their clubs during fall quarter, and it's a great time to meet all of your peers. So if you had the additional time instead of taking a 16 unit class course, it'll just give you that leeway to transition directly from high school to college, because definitely having a quarter system instead of a semester system is so much faster than you can imagine. You may think right now like, oh yeah, I can handle it and everything's going to be fine, and then midterm comes around and they're just going to be hit with a lot of midterms, and then finals hit right after that. So, you know, just taking advice from us students is that make sure that you take care of yourself during this time. And since you guys are kind of like the first years navigating this completely new virtual field, it's great to, you know, have some time and give yourself that time and care to make sure that you do really well during your fall quarter.
Yeah, and to quickly add in as kind of like general advice, make sure as a transfer student, you know, to kind of get exposed to the extracurriculars on campus as well. So there's a lot of like clubs and different things that you might get exposed to. And this is just kind of general advice for everyone. But as Edward and both Elaine said, kind of ease into it. You don't have to take like a 16-unit quarter. You could also do 12, and it is really fast-paced. Even as a first year coming into Merage, it was pretty fast-paced for me as well.
Great, thank you for those answers. And just to touch base as we're nearing the end, if anybody needs to leave early, this is being recorded, and you can look at the recording later on the Convocation website on the convocation.studentaffairs.uci.edu. So definitely make sure you take a look at that. Let's see, any other, so we don't have any other questions. To kind of end, is there anything else you want to state about how students can find information about activities, or any recommendations or advice you have for all these students as we enter into this new fall quarter? Anything that you guys would like to say?
Yeah, one thing I'll say is definitely make sure to check your emails, as the faculty were kind of saying. A lot of information will be sent through UCI emails. So the BA Career newsletter, the academic newsletter, emails from your professors. So really be proactive in checking your email, because you'll get a lot of information through there. So just kind of echoing what the faculty said, and I'm sure the other panelists also agree.
Yeah. I just want to say something real quick about, I guess, like internships and careers, because I saw a lot of comments on the chat about, like, you know, I'm a transfer student, how do I find an internship? Can you balance school and a part-time internship? So just a little bit things, some thoughts about that. I think what Blair said about, you know, you're starting your academic career and your like career at the same time is really important. So like everything you do in your classes, all the interactions that you have with clubs and organizations are going to be a building block for how you secure that internship and full-time job. Actually, like for my full-time job, I think it's like a professor made that connection, kind of like made that possible for me to secure an interview and eventually get a full-time offer. In terms of balancing part-time internships, I've been working part-time since my freshman year here at Merage, on campus in like the Fresh Basic Needs Hub, off campus at Edward Life Sciences. I'm currently right now in a hotel room in Joshua Tree for like a part-time internship at a real estate consulting firm. We're looking at like tourism and real estate in the near the Joshua Tree National Park. It's definitely a handful, but because Merage curriculum, I think it's flexible. I can put all my classes like Tuesday, Thursday, and intern like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and still have time for like clubs and catching up on all my classes. So I think it's really flexible, and it's really built around supporting you in getting a career. Career services have so many great programs and resources for you to kind of find internships, whether you're transfer and you really need to secure that junior year internship, or your first year and you know, it can be a little bit more difficult, but they have those resources. So like Ryan said, leverage your email, leverage all the Merage specific resources. And I think definitely just try to find a community. I think that's the biggest thing I would recommend students. Like, it's going to be hard. It's virtual. It's going to be difficult, but everyone is trying to have you join the Merage community. Everyone here is really trying to help you join the Merage community, and there's other communities on campus within clubs and organizations. So try to find that for you. So check out the Anteater Involvement Fair. And you know, everyone's really excited for you to be here.
Yeah, I just wanted to give everyone a congratulations on being here. We are so proud of you to even be here at this point. And we know with everything that's going on around the world, it is so hard, but I do have one piece of advice, which is to take initiative to communicate with us, whether it be with the peer academic advisors, the career advisors on the student side. Communicate with your professors to make sure that, hey, I am here. I'm so excited to be in your class. You know, what they said earlier, they would love to hear from you. It just really gives that personal touch. You know, it's really easy just to simply like, join a class and turn off your camera and turn off your mute and you just kind of unmute at the end and say, thank you for teaching this class. But really, you know, if you take that initiative to just simply turn on your camera and get to know who your peers are and get to know who your professors are, it really will be a great way to start, because since unfortunately we don't have this in-person class, that's kind of the best thing that we can do at this moment. So just kind of deal with the cards that you're being dealt with, and you just know that you are being you're being a part of history. You know, you are this class where you get to learn on the virtual field, and we hope that within the coming years that you get to be in person, so you get to kind of understand both the virtual field and the in-person fields eventually within your undergraduate years at UC Irvine.
Thank you so much. Those were wonderful answers. Thank you again for taking the time to answer the questions. I'm going to pass it over for finishing remarks to Courtney. And like I said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out via the SOT chat, go on to the convocation site for recordings, or visit us in advising. I'll give it to Courtney.
Thanks, Andrea, and thanks to our student panelists. Just to clarify, I think I caused a bit of confusion in the chat. There is only one UCI Canvas. Sometimes students refer to the Bridge as a Merage Canvas, just amongst themselves. It is not, it's called the Bridge. If you are still having trouble accessing your courses on Canvas by sort of tomorrow evening, Tuesday evening, or Wednesday morning, feel free to send your professor a quick email and just ask when you can expect to have access to the Canvas space, and they will let you know. And if you still continue to have problems as we get towards the end of this week, please reach out to our undergraduate programs office. So I know there was a lot of information that we covered here. You'll start to receive our weekly newsletter, which you actually probably should have started receiving last week. So please be checking that. There's information in there on how to contact us, how to get in touch, and our peer advisors through the SOT chat that I put in the chat function there. They're a great place to start if you have questions on where do I find this, how can I access that. They're a great resource to utilize to start, and they are there from 9 to noon and 1 to 4, Monday through Friday. So that's a good place to start with any questions, and they can direct you further. You can also reach out to us in a variety of ways that Andrea spoke about earlier. But I just want to close by saying, once again, congratulations on joining UCI and joining the Paul Merage School of Business. We are so excited to welcome you. And we are here, whether your journey is 2 years as a transfer student or 4 years as a freshman entrant, we're here to help and guide and support you however we can along your entire journey. And that goes for faculty, staff, and your fellow peers as well. So thank you so much for joining us today.